Hello and welcome back to Oversky Deck Spotlight. This week we could take a look at MrTea's Red Combat deck. Now this deck performed exceptionally in the Aurora Open and actually got Mr. T first place. In the finals, this deck had a 3-0 sweep against his opponent, which is IXI, I guess, IXI, if you pronounce it that way. So, Mono Red Combat, still very strong in this meta. I'm going to be taking it on the ladder to see how it performs, and maybe give you guys some tips on how to play it. I'll give you an idea on how this build is played. So let's get into some matches and see how it performs. Alright guys, into our first game using MrTea's Red Combat. I got him first place in the Aurora Open. I haven't played Red Combat in a long time, so I'm not entirely sure where its power level is at right now, but if it was to win a big event like the Aurora Open, it must be in a pretty good position. So a good old axe grinder to start things off. We have to explore as well, so we can go up here. If I didn't have to explore, I would have mounted here. Probably double neutral in this position. And I kept the firebomb as well, as you probably noticed. Just a good way to deal with wood elementals and stuff like that. Oh, hello, Deepwood Stalker. Don't see you very often. So now I should probably switch sides. Red Combat is at its best when it can fight on the wells. So yeah, I'm gonna switch sides. I'm gonna switch over to probably this brigand, because the brigand will gain me additional Faeria, and I can always play aggressively with lands on this side in the future if I want to apply more pressure. So yeah, let's take a double neutral up this way, and we'll pass. Now I'm not using a firebomb on a spider; it's just not worth it. I want to save that for a wood elemental or maybe a water elemental. There are a few cards that could really help me. Really be helped with a firebomb. Alright, so great. Gonna get that axe grinder spot. I can use the Grimguard to lock that into position. I'm going to move this up just in case this needs to fight, but if it doesn't, I can always shimmy it back into collection if need be. Going for the Frogify. I'm cool with that. Frogify on my Grimguard is not that bad. This might be a jumper, 3/5 jump to try and double collect. That's fair enough. I'd really like a ground shaker here, so I think I'm going to take a draw and try and find one. I think that's absolutely fine as well, because we can just do this. Stopping that double collection, slowing down my opponent. We also have a 5/4 like in this region. Bomb slingers could be really handy as well, because I could maybe set up double neutral across here, or go double neutral straight, and then I have the bomb slinger in the future. It's going to be a Fagoro. This allows me to get an aggressive mountain now at least, so if I was to pick up something quite durable, like say maybe a ground shaker, I can just stick it here. But this works out as well. We'll just do this, and hope there's no Frogify. Putting a 5/6 next to my opponent's orb, that is going to generate me Faeria. You can see my opponent went for a preemptive Elderwood Embrace there just to respect that I do have stuff like Firebomb, Cypher's Wrath, and Flame Burst in my deck. Just curious to see what happens. Probably a Frogify. Yeah, it's going to be a Frogify. I was kind of hoping there wasn't one. Interesting. Oh, and a Deepwood Stalker again. Spiders and frogs. That's what we're going up against so far. Take a draw. It's a Flame Burst. Now, do I clear this in case an Elderwood... If an Elderwood Embrace comes down, I'm going to be a little sad. But I have double Flame Burst in hand, so I should probably play to the strength of my Burst. I have a lot of burst damage. You know, I can deal 6 damage from hand currently. If an Elderwood Embrace does get invested and I draw that Ground Shaker, I'm going to be okay. You know, I'm going to be in a decent position. Might just be a... Huh. Another Deepwood Stalker, I guess? Aurora's creation into another Fagoro. Into an urn. Into a pass. Okay. Hit for 5. My opponent down to 8. It's pretty good for me. Let's take a draw, because if I drew like Gift of Steel or something like that, I'd be in a pretty good position. Take the hit here. We'll hit into this. And we'll Bomb Slinger. And this is just to put another creature on board more than anything. So if this gets answered, at least I have my 4/1 to hit to finish off my opponent. Could be a Sky Whale though. Could just see this getting swallowed. Maybe even this getting swallowed and then this jumping and clearing the 4/1. Just gonna be a Frog Tosser. This actually works in my favor a little bit because if I draw a Cypher's Wrath, I get lethal. So we'll see what happens. Oh, there we have it. Cypher's Wrath for lethal. And you can see during that match, like I said, I played to the strength of having 2 Flame Bursts in hand. So pushing damage there was really good for me. Because the Flame Burst would allow me to finish off the game. The Frog Tosser allowed me to set up lethal as well with that Cypher's Wrath. So if you do get like a hand of burst, don't be afraid to push that damage to the orb, because those Flame Bursts and the Cypher's Wrath create a form of inevitability. Your opponent is going to lose 2 Flame Burst eventually, and the quicker you can accelerate that, especially against greedier decks like this, the better off you're going to be. Alright guys, another match. Things went very well for us in the first game. We also have a pretty solid start, actually. Actually, I do like the Horsemaster. I think I'm going to throw the Brigand. I want to play the Grimguard because it's a bit more life, a bit more durable. And I get the Brigand back anyway, so... Okay, Brigand, you want to be in my starting hand. I get it. It's going to be a Farm Boy. Not something I'd expect very often, but yeah, we have the Horsemaster now, which is going to be quite nice. We can explore mountain into, say, a Grimguard or a Brigand, whichever we want to do. So this is probably a bargain deck. Farm Boy's pretty decent in bargain. And yeah, I think we'll take the Grimguard. Yeah, I think we take the Grimguard here, and we'll go for the Cypher's Wrath. Stop this from collecting any Faeria. I mean, it might seem wasteful to kill a Farm Boy with a Cypher's Wrath, but if I don't clear it... I mean, I do have the Horsemaster, but I still may have to wait another turn, because my opponent might just go off to the right-hand side and collect off his own wells. So yeah, I think Cypher's Wrath is fine there, stopping my opponent from gaining additional Faeria, and if you're running Farm Boy in your deck, you're probably playing Control. And I would like to stop that. That is a Barbarian Ogre. That is a card I was not expecting to see. Okay. Big 7/7 can be a problem. Let's go for a Brigand. And pass. So the idea of here with the Brigand is just to gain some additional Faeria back and deal a bit of damage to this so we can take care of it on a follow-up. I'm kind of hoping that the Ogre just goes into the Brigand anyway, and I maybe pick up a Gift of Steel, and then I can finish this off. Worst case scenario is I can run my Grimguard into it and Flame Burst. I'm trading 3 cards for 1. But that is going to happen to red if you run into high life creatures. They're quite problematic. Oh, it's just going to be a Firestorm. Okay. Big Barbarian Ogre. Throwing that log around. Let's take a draw. It's not working out for me so far. This 7/5, or what was once a 7/7, it's proven to be a massive problem. Alright, so what's next? What problem do I have to deal with? Luckily, my opponent is forced to make land here if they want to collect, but I don't think that's a massive problem. This is probably a Gem Shell Tortoise deck. Dance and pass. Okay. So let's Flame Burst this and let's get a Ground Shaker down. We need something quite big, you know, to help us tackle these big ogres. But now my opponent's Faeria starved, so this could play in our favor. Because if my opponent has nothing to play this turn, if nothing good got bargained, I'm going to be in a pretty decent position. But let's see what happens. I'm curious to see how this game goes out. I'm not too confident right now. My opponent had a really good start, but this might be the opportunity for me to come back. Just because I have that Horsemaster and because my opponent has no Faeria. I'm most certainly going to take a Horsemaster this turn coming up, simply because I want to get into an aggressive position and get an aggressive land down so I can start pushing some damage. Well, my opponent is considering something. Was highlighting the lake there, maybe thinking of playing a creature, but maybe a little cautious of Horsemaster? Hard to say. +1 into the king. The good old king. I do have an answer for it, fortunately. Yeah, let's get a mountain here. We might as well. This takes us for an axe grinder spot in the future. I hope that 0 cost card that was drawn was pretty bad. It was a Time of Legends. That works out for me. I'll take a Time of Legends. I think that's just going to be a shuffle into the deck. So a very good king proc for me. Very bad for my opponent. Trying to set up defensively here. Not going to work out. I do have the Horsemaster. Although I don't collect Faeria if I do that. Maybe I take a draw instead. Go for a Grimguard. I do want to collect some Faeria. My opponent is saving up for something that's going to cause me problems. It's going to be a bold bargainer. Let's see if my opponent goes for defensive land moving forward. Because I can now just move here and... See, that's interesting to me. So unless this is a taunt, which it is, which makes sense now. If that wasn't a taunt, that would have been a very strange situation. Oh man, this is sad because this is going to clear this. This can run into this. I have Flame Burst Ground Shaker. I just don't have the Faeria to do it. I guess I could Gift of Steel this into Flame Burst to finish it off. That's not the best option though. I don't think I have anything else right now. Obviously, I'd much rather go Ground Shaker in the Gift of Steel. Okay, let's take a draw, because if I don't draw anything worthwhile, I can just go into the Gift of Steel, Flame Burst. I guess I could draw Cypher's Wrath. Cypher's Wrath would be pretty handy. Nope. Okay. We're continuing to double collect. At least we're double collecting. We have to be very resource inefficient there to take care of that 6/9, but we're definitely at a fair advantage while we're still in this position. Goes for a draw. We pick up a Cypher's Wrath. I'm going to collect +1 into Ground Shaker. And this is just to set up like another big body like we did in the previous turns. Just get something big and bulky down so we can fight anything big that comes from my opponent. Like those ogre battlers, ogre barbarians are a problem. I just have to invest a little too much into answering them. It's gonna be another bold bargainer. And then what's been bargained? It's a Ground Shaker. Okay. This is a good card to draw. It's a shame though, because I do want to use my Cypher's Wrath to finish this off. So I'm going to just take a normal draw here to see what happens. Oh, okay. That actually works out quite well, because now I can just use this Bomb Slinger. Saves me having to use the Cypher's Wrath. With the Ground Shaker, I keep my higher life, higher attack creature intact. Oh man, all these bargains are starting to catch up with me now. The longer this game goes, the harder it's going to be for me to win. Oof, Firestorm for 0. It's very nice. I can still +1 Cypher, which is not bad. So I'm going to protect my Ground Shaker. I don't feel like I need to kill this, because Cypher will just eat them. So I can just move back +1 Cypher. You can't just run this in and then just run this in, because I'm going to gain stats. I'm going to stop these two from clearing this. So if I can keep my Ground Shaker alive for a little longer, it could work out for me, especially with a Horsemaster. Just being able to clear something. I'm not sure what yet. Maybe just another Ground Shaker with that Cypher's Wrath. But I do see the value of trying to keep it alive at this point. +1 into Firestorm. That is a way to deal with it. Feels bad. I guess if I had cleared, I would have been in a better position. Hex Grinder. That's +1. So what do I have left? I have a Garadan. This is my first Axe Grinder, so I have 2 Axe Grinders. I have that 1 Outland Ranger. I have both Horsemasters in hand. I believe I have 1 Ground Shaker left. 1 Brigand, potentially. Alright, this is where we get our aggressive lands. We try and finish the game. I have 2 Gift of Steel. That's actually really good, because it is an opportunity for me to push damage if I do get a creature near my opponent. So we'll see. I still have quite a bit of burst. This was badly... No, I couldn't... If I could have positioned this here, that would have been much better, because I could Horsemaster again. But now I can Horsemaster my Horsemaster. Get this up here, finish this off, and take a Cypher's Wrath. Lake into Phantasm. So the Cypher's Wrath still works, which is good. Ooh, this is a close match, guys. If the Phantasm Bee is greedy, Oh, maybe there's like removal and then the Phantasm goes into my Horsemaster. I have Cypher's Wrath, which is pretty nice. It's going to allow me to deal another 2 damage. And I have like that 1 Flame Burst left in my deck. Oh, the Farm Boy to block, that is not going to be enough. Very close game. And that Farm Boy is going to finish things off. So even though I went up against some very powerful bargain turns, I was still able to turn it around just with the raw pushing power that Red has to offer. So good game there. You know, it could have went either way, but I had enough removal and I haven't had enough pressure to be able to finish off my opponent. This Horsemaster has obviously been a massive part of my win there. So good game there. Very, very tense. Let's get into another. Alright, another match. Going up against a God rank opponent. Playing first here. I don't have a turn 1 play, which is quite sad. I quite like keeping these 2. Flame Burst could be handy. This is tough. I'd like to keep this hand, to be honest. But you know what? I'm going to search for an Axe Grinder. Let's do it. See if I get punished. There we go. Got an Axe Grinder. Feels good. So now we can start from here with the Axe Grinder and start collecting Faeria straight away, which is a little bit more important than comboing Gift of Steel into Brigand. Brigand might not even live long enough, given against specific decks. It's going to be a Water Elemental, which I can now Flame Burst since I picked that back up after my mulligan. Just going to double neutral, and then we can pass. We'll see what my opponent gets up to. It's going to collect here. I don't mind leaving this up a turn simply because it only collects 1 Faeria and it allows me to continue to push lands down, which is more important for me right now. Because now I can Flame Burst this. Stop that from double collecting. This frog can only collect off 1 well now. And I can like Mountain Ground Shaker here, and then I have Horsemaster to push my Ground Shaker into an aggressive position. So this is looking more like a blue-green, more tempo-orientated deck. So probably like lots of power-ups like Elderwood Embrace, maybe Archons as well, just more mobile creatures that you can get down towards your opponent quickly and then use those power-ups to push damage and win. That's what I'm guessing. There's probably going to be stuff like Frog Tossers in here, maybe even Sky Whales, but more geared towards the kind of a mid-range style of deck, I would imagine. Goes for an Earthcraft. Goes for an Earthcraft. Goes for a collection. Then maybe passes. Into a library. Quite a good position, actually. So I'm gonna be very daring here. Oh, we're going in, guys. We're pushing damage. We're gonna speed up this library and make things very difficult for my opponent. Good old 9 damage there. A little while away from a whale, at least. Now I have 2 Flame Bursts left. I have, of course, I have like Cypher's Wrath and stuff. I have Ground Shaker coming up next turn. To Aurora's trick. It's gonna steal my... That was a pretty funny turn. It's not something you see very often, Aurora's trick. Oh, Flame Burst, that's a good card. I like that one. I am a fan. So if you take a mountain here instead of here, we can play the Grimguard and lock this in. And what this forces is my opponent to build land here. If he wants to clear my Grimguard out. This Grimguard, of course, is going to create problems for this Forbidden Library. Because now my opponent takes 2. Could take an additional 2 off this. Maybe even more than 2, depending if it gets frogified or not. And I have this Flame Burst in hand waiting. And my opponent also has to try and win at some point. So maybe this is just a Sky Whale. Let's see what happens. It's an Aurora's trick. It's another one. Okay, I wasn't expecting the other Aurora's trick to come into hand, but yeah, I guess I just got punished. There's going to be some healing as well. And everyone's coming back to defend. So that's pretty funny. I can appreciate the Aurora's tricks. Alright, we're just going to continue applying pressure. Move this down because we don't want this to jump over and clear my Horsemaster. The library's still ticking away. Let's see what happens next. I just have to draw my other Flame Burst. There was a bit of healing though. We did see the Emperor's Command. Not sure how much healing this deck would run with the library. I think it's going to ignore my Ground Shaker. Maybe there's just a Sky Whale going to come down. Yeah, it's just going to be a Sky Whale. Into maybe another Triton Warrior? Yeah, another Triton Warrior. So making sure there's still some good defense at least going on. Let's take a draw. Ugh, this is a little hairy, isn't it? Although if my opponent doesn't heal, I just win off the Flame Burst next turn. Earthcraft. Draw. Any heals? No? Yes? 6 damage, 4 damage. Frog Tosser. And that's going to be it. The Flame Burst is going to win me the match. Oh, the Cypher's Wrath as well. So I had enough bursts even if the library wasn't there for some reason. But there we have it. Red Combat taking yet another victory. And defeating those much higher opponents as well. Getting those extra stars. Feels good, guys. Yeah, that is going to be it for this game. Let's get on to another match. Alright, going up against the great teacher Mayhem, monthly cup champion, top performer in Faeria. Let's see what Mayhem has in store for me. I believe last time we played, Mayhem was playing, was it? I think it was Green Yellow Sacrifice. I was playing Yellow Tempo. So that's actually, yeah, I think me and Mayhem actually played in the last episode of Deck Spotlight. It's going to be a water elemental, kick things off. Yeah, I guess Ground Shake is fine here. Cause we got the Cypher's Wrath. I'm just gonna double neutral. Double neutral. Probably going to be a pass here, yeah. So yeah, just double neutral up. Start getting this Ground Shaker towards my opponent. Another water elemental. Oh, another library. Okay. 2 libraries. Okay. The bravery. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I guess that's a thing. It's probably going to be a Dream Reaver deck. I guess the truth is, like, I probably just race against the library at this point. It's a shame I didn't draw a creature. Like Outline Ranger would have been good here, but it's only one of. I guess I can mount in here and play Cypher. Oh no, is it some form of ramp? Maybe a Leaping Fugu? I shouldn't have played it there, I should have played it here. I have double Gift of Steel. We'll see what happens. Maybe just Frogified. Even if this gets Frogified, I wouldn't be that bothered. Because I can still Cypher after this. If this doesn't die, I'm just going to Gift of Steel it and it's going in. This frog is going to go ham. No, it's going to be a Frog Tosser. Okay. This is really annoying because the frog is now in the way of me stepping here. Ugh. Not liking this. And that's going to be it. A very quick game. Library's just helping me out here. Doing very well. Turns out the gift, the Frogify here set up lethal for me. If you think about it, because my Ground Shaker wasn't in a position to attack, so the Frogify actually helped me. So well played there, Mayhem. Be careful of those libraries against red. You know, they can be a hindrance. Let's get into one final match before we conclude this episode of Deck Spotlight. Final game, going against Psychopol. I believe Psychopol and I have played a fair amount in Pandora. We're going to mulligan everything, try and get an Axe Grinder. Didn't find one, unfortunately. And we are going to build from here, just in case we play against Rush. Now, if I have Explore, I don't mind building from here, because I'll know if it's Rush or not. And there we have it. So Rush, straight away, going in. No fear. I don't mind going double neutral because I picked up the Axe Grinder. So I can build a mountain here. I also have Grimguard to put in this spot. Oh, it's going to be a Crumbling Golem. It's a little scary, I'm not gonna lie. Ground Shaker does 1. Then the summoning of Ground Shaker does 1, puts it down to 4. So Ground Shaker's pretty strong here. Lines it up perfectly to finish off the Crumbling Golem. 5 Faeria for a 7/6, very powerful. The double neutral across. Into a Freedom Fighter. This is some spice right here. Yeah, I'm just going to Flame Burst this. I want to collect. I'm going to take a mountain on this spot. Set up for my Bomb Slinger. Another Freedom Fighter. This is smoke. This is the smokiest red deck I've ever seen. Could Flame Burst it again. It kind of just lines up better than the Bomb Slinger right now. Let's take double neutral up. We need to win the game at some point, so I can just keep Flame Bursting freedom fighters. It's 5 Faeria for 3 damage. It's essentially what's being paid for. Yep. Building a lot of mountains here. I can. So it's very difficult for my opponent to stop me getting an aggressive land now unless he kills this. You could double neutral here, but then I can move and just mount in here. So it makes no difference to me. Alright, I can collect off this well. Oh man, I've made so many mountains. This is ridiculous. I think this mountain I made here should have been double neutral. Axe grinder into Cypher's Wrath. Oh, interesting. It's going to let me get the axe grinder spot. It's fine by me. I'll take that. 6 mountains, guys. I can make a meteor soon. What's next? Everything you play, I'm killing right now. Excellent. So I can take a draw this turn. Try and get another gift to steal. So this sets up lethal between these two. I'm covering this mountain as well, which is pretty nice. Which means this needs to be removed before my opponent can develop another aggressive threat. But now I've pushed the rush play into a defensive position. Especially with this card, like this card's going to be very difficult to deal with unless like there's a crystal flower or something. Might be the case. Yes, there's going to be a crystal flower. What else can be done here? A Grimguard. Okay. Take a draw. Ground Shaker. Ah, this is annoying. If I hit into this and play a Brigand and he plays Gift of Steel, he's going to go back up for 3 life. It's something I don't want. If there is no Gift of Steel, which Gift of Steel is not enough right now, I can use the next Ground Shaker plus 1 Ground Shaker and then hit for 5. If this just stays here as a taunt. Oh, I don't even need a +1. I'm going to be try collecting anyway, so I'm going to be up to 6 Faeria. It's going to be enough for me to finish off my opponent's Grimguard and then punch. Unless a Gift of Steel comes down. Gonna move to a Brigand. Okay. Yeah, sure. One of those 5 Faeria to work with now. But 2 Ground Shakers at the Orb. It's going to be pretty difficult to answer. Another Grimguard would be okay, but I'm just relying on drawing 3 damage at that point. So that could be Gift of Steel, that could be Flame Burst. A lot of outs against a Grimguard here. Yep, and that's going to be a surrender. Nice clean deck spotlight this episode, taking 5 wins, getting a lot of stars as well in the process. But good games to all my opponents I played against. That wraps up this episode of Oversky Deck Spotlight. As you can see, Red Combat is still a force to be reckoned with when playing in competitive Faeria. So if you're looking for a deck to climb the ladder over the next few days before the season ends in a week's time, this could be the perfect deck for you. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, drop a subscribe to keep up to date of when our content goes live. Be sure to check out Journey into Pandora. 2 episodes for this week. While the deck didn't perform as well as I wanted, it might be worth seeing just to watch some more Pandora content. I hope you guys are enjoying that series. So until next time guys, take care and enjoy MrTea's Red Combat.